Hello guys, Toon here back again. This time obviously the SNES Mini came out on Friday. I'm going to do my little review of the machine, and I'm going to show you some of the games on it. I might even actually go through all the games for it. Yep, so I picked this up on Friday when it came out. It's like the NES Mini. This one's got 21 games on it, but one of those games is Star Fox 2, which is unreleased. It was just a full version. I've had a quick over. It seems a bit of an odd game. It seems a bit of more like a strategy game more than a Star Fox game, but I have to play it a bit more really to sort of make any sort of decision on that. I say it's the same sort of menu system as the NES Mini with some. I've got to give Nintendo this. They know how to make menu music. So you've got really funky menu music again. I don't know who's doing the music for this, but they always succeed with menu music. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I say the machine actually comes with a HDMI cable. It comes with 2 control pads this time instead of 1, which is very nice. Comes with a power cable, but doesn't actually come with a power adapter. So you will need a USB phone charger or USB on your TV or something. That's a little bit of a shame because the American console actually came with a power adapter, so I don't know why we didn't. But the same happened with the NES Mini as well. I say the controllers they come with they're very nice. They feel like SNES controllers really. I'm sure there was a couple of different molds or a couple of different plastic types on SNES controllers, because I've had a few that feel a little bit different. But these do feel like brand new SNES controllers, which is very nice. They do have a longer lead than last time, so you don't quite have to sit literally right next to the machine. But what I would suggest to you guys is if you get on eBay from Chinese sellers, they sell the 6-foot extension cables for the NES Mini. They're literally about £2-3 each, and they work perfect on the SNES Mini because practically it's the same hardware underneath. And that will extend your controller out, and you'll have plenty of room then to play. My other suggestion would be, I know the controllers that come with are very nice as well, but I would get a Wii Classic controller. Don't get the copied versions though, the cheap copied ones, because they don't work. You want a SNES Classic controller. This one comes. The reason I say this, I think the D-pad is a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit better. It's got the same button layout and everything, but it comes with a home button, so you can basically press the home button and go back to the menus from actually in the game, instead of actually having to get up and press the button on the console, which is very useful. So that's pretty much what I'm using, and that's pretty much what I've been using on my NES Mini as well. One other thing before we start looking at the games, I bought the Hori controller because it's a 6-button Hori Fight Commander. Word of warning, the controller is terrible. It's got at least 2 or 3 frames of lag when you use it. The D-pad is awful. I don't know what Hori's stuff is normally very good quality. I'll give the build quality on it is very nice. It feels very nice plastic. It takes 2 AA batteries. I'm not sure of how long it lasts, but the D-pad is very, very difficult to push the diagonals on the D-pad, which pretty much makes it useless for fighting games. Massive shame that is. Other thing they did as well, this is a big cock up. It comes with a wireless dongle you plug in the front of it. Only problem is in the actual instructions for the dongle, it says you basically plug the dongle in, you turn the console on, and you press a button on the pad and it syncs. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't sync at all. It basically, you spend hours trying to get this sort of thing to sync. The way I found out to do it, which may be wrong, this is just how I found by accident. If you hold down the 2 L and R's and press this, and hold down the start and select together for about 4 or 5 seconds, it'll sync the controller. I'm not sure whether it's just the start button you hold down, mind. And that actually syncs the control. Why they've got the complete wrong sort of way to doing it in the instructions, and it's a massive oversight. I get a feeling that a lot of people were taken back because they can't get them working, which is a bit of a cock up by Hori, but There you go. As I say, as for the D-pad, my D-pad, the angles were a bit hard to press and it was a little bit awkward. My mate's version of the controller, it was terrible. You literally couldn't press the angles. So, word of warning, do not buy the Hori wireless controller. It's a total waste of money. So, anyway, let's get on to the actual machine. Right, so it's the same plan as before. You've got your 4.3, you've got your Pixel Perfect, which is pretty much, Pixel Perfect is set exactly for LCD televisions, where each pixel is perfectly square. The only problem with that is you get a bit of a thin picture, which is not really exactly as the SNES was at the time. You've got your standard 4.3, which is pretty much your standard picture set, but the pixels are slightly wider. I haven't really noticed any shimmering on scrolling, but you may get a little bit of that. You've got a CRT filter, same as last time, which adds blur to the picture and adds scan lines in. I really wish that they'd just given me a scan line option. That with scan lines on would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, if you want scan lines, you've got to use the blurry, crappy CRT filter. But, you know, if you like that sort of thing, that's, you know, go for that. But I would stick with the 4.3. The other thing is this time, you can get borders, which are quite cool. You can get these little borders, you put it around the screens, so to fill in the black, which is quite nice, I thought. This is very similar to sort of like the Game Boy player on the SNES. So let's go back to your standard border. So that's that one. Just make sure my mic was working. Yeah, so I'm going to use that one because I quite like it. Your next option is you can turn the demo and the classic demo and stuff off, and you can reset the system, which you're probably not going to really want to bother with. Your next option is your language option. Your next option again is the legal notices, and the same as the NES Mini, you've got a QR code there, or where you can go basically to get your manuals, which is quite nice. And that's pretty much your options. You can do a few things with the game list. You can press start. You can. Oh, I don't want to do that. You can press select. You can sort by 2-player. You've recently played, time played, release date, publisher, and by title. So I'm going to just leave it on title at the moment. And that's pretty much it with the menus. If you pull down, this is your save spots for your games, or your suspend spots. The games will automatically save just like they do on a cartridge, if there is battery backup cartridge. There is a rewind option, which basically rewinds 40 seconds, which is quite handy. So you get so far you die, you can just rewind it back. But I don't think I'd be bothering with that stuff. So we'll go through the games and what we've got here. So you've got Donkey Kong Country, which is a really good platform game. Very nice graphics for SNES. Earthbound, adventure game I've never actually played, but I hear a lot of good things about. F-Zero, absolute classic, can't fault it. Which is a racing game, futuristic. You've got Final Fantasy III, which is Final Fantasy VI, which is my favourite Final Fantasy game. Brilliant, it's really good to have this in it. You've got Kirby Superstar. I had a quick go with this, it's like 8 games in one. It seems pretty cool. Kirby's Dream Course, which is sort of like a golf type sort of Kirby's game. I used to play this years ago. It's quite a cool little game. You got Mega Man X, which is a platform sort of shooter. You got Secret of Mana, which probably is my favourite adventure game on the... Well, my second favourite adventure game on the SNES, next to Final Fantasy VI. Star Fox, which, flight sort of sim, space sim, sort of... Well, not sim, really sort of shooter. Really cool game. Star Fox 2, similar sort of thing. But I don't know, it seems a bit more of a strategic strategy game. I don't know. I'll have to play it a little bit more. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which, Street Fighter, beat 'em up, classic. Castlevania 4, or Super Castlevania. Brilliant game this is, very, very good. Fantastic music. Super Ghouls'n Ghosts, platform game again. Very, very nice looking. Hell of a lot of slowdown. Perhaps it would have been quite nice if they'd given us an option to take the slowdown away, but I'm not complaining, nevertheless. Mario Kart, absolute classic 2-player racing game. Super fun to play. Mario RPG, which I've never really played, but I'll give it a go. Super Mario World, brilliant platform game. I loved that on the SNES. When I first came out on the SNES, I literally played it solid for the week and tried to collect absolutely everything. Very, very good game. Super Metroid, absolute fantastic, sort of like you know, platform, sort of space sort of shooter type thing with Samus Aran. Metroid games are very good, and this Super Metroid is one of the best Metroid games. Super Punch-Out, which I've never really played that much. I never really got into the original Punch-Out much, but good nevertheless. You know, Legend of Zelda, absolute classic. Probably one of my favourite Zelda games. Very good. Yoshi's Island, another platform game, fantastic. The baby crying does get it in your tits after a while, but very good nevertheless. Contra Free is probably the best Contra game. Very, very good. And then we're back to Donkey Kong. So that's pretty much all 21 games, so they're pretty nice. So what we'll do is, I'll show you some different display modes. So we'll go to CRT filter, and seeing as we're on Donkey Kong, we'll fire Donkey Kong up. The emulation on this, guys, as well, I'm quite impressed with the emulation. It's very, very good indeed. I think you would have to be pretty picky to find some differences between the SNES and this. As for input lag, if you play this on a gaming monitor or a TV with very low input lag, which is pretty much what I'm doing now, it's emulation, so you're going to get at least a frame of input lag. That's just how emulation works. But it pretty much seems there's no lag on it. There's probably a frame or two at the most. But depending on the TV you're playing it on, if you play a TV with a lot of lag, it is going to seem laggy. But on a good gaming monitor, it seems pretty instant to me. But I haven't got the means of testing it. So we'll start this up. Right there, so Donkey Kong Island. So this is the CRT filter. So you got your scan lines. I'm not sure whether to pick up. You got your bit of a blur look to everything. Just not bad. It's better than the. Obviously, I can't play this game. It's better than the one on the NES Mini, because that has like a composite, or composite as I like to call it, filter over the top of everything that pretty much makes everything look terrible. But as you can see, that's the CRT filter, which don't look too bad. So we'll show you that. So what I'll do now, I'll go back to the menu. This is where the joypad comes in very handy. I shall save the file by here, so I can go back to it. We'll go back to the menu, and we'll change it to the Pixel Perfect. So we'll load this back in. Yeah, we're back in. So this is the Pixel Perfect mode. As you notice, the screen is a bit thinner. The one other thing I will say, it's a little bit of a shame that it wasn't full screen. So we do have a little bit of a board at the top, but oh well, it's nothing too bad. So this is the Pixel Perfect filter. So a lot of people say may like to play it this way. So the Pixel Perfect's quite nice, but the screen is a little bit it is a little bit thin. So we'll go back out again now, and I'll do the same thing again. I'll hold the button in to do a save. So we'll do that, and we'll go to my preference is the 4.3. So if you want to see the rewind feature, if you press X on that, you get the rewind. So basically you can forward this and press start at any point, and you can basically play from that point. So if I press start here, I can play from this point. So as you notice now, it's the same sort of quality of screen image, but the screen is wider now. It's just more like pretty much what it'll look like, or it should look like. So the rewind feature is quite nice. And I obviously can't play this game. But anyway, that's the different screen sort of filters you can have, and this is Donkey Kong, which is quite nice indeed. So what we'll do, we'll try a different game this time. We'll go back and let's have a look. Should I try them all? Okay, why not? Let's just do all the games. So being an adventure game, obviously it's going to be a bit hard to show you much of this game, but We'll show you a bit of it. What I do like as well is that background. It does change colour. It does sort of like go through different colours, which is quite cool. I'm not sure if it changes colour per game. We'll have stereo. The sound on this as well. My mate did think that Mega Man, the firing on Mega Man, was a little bit louder than the sound effects, but I had a good test of it this morning on my SNES and on it, and it sounded pretty much the same to me. Let's call myself Tuner. I say the adventure games are going to be pretty hard to show you anything about, to be honest. Let's call it Tunet. Oh god, I got another name to do. Let's call him Bob. Oh my god, how many friends you got? That's a lot of friends. That's a lot of names. Old Vic. And your pet's name. What should I call? What should I call my pet? I was going to think of something dodgy to call him then, but let's call him Dippy. That'll do. Your favourite homemade food? Oh god. I don't know. I just fucking. I just put chips. That'll do. A lot of questions at the beginning of this game, isn't it? Right, I'll do. Yeah, so I've never played the Earthbound games. The NES Earthbound games, there's a lot of fans of them. They are literally like Final Fantasy type adventure games, basically, but with kids. I don't really know much about these games. But they do have a lot of fans. So it might actually be worth me playing for this. Like I say, it's cool you got the mini. You can... I want to play through Secret of Mana again. I really love that game. So I won't show you too much these adventure games because you could be here for hours. Old Tuner's house. But you get the idea anyway. It's basically a turn-based adventure game. So we'll cancel out that one. I'll show you some F-Zero instead. This is a classic. My favourite F-Zero game is by far F-Zero GX on the GameCube, and I would love if they'd actually redone that game, because that game would look fantastic upscale to 1080p. It's a really amazing game. This game is super hard, especially on the hardest difficulty. It's very difficult indeed. You can slide around corners with the left and right and get bashed into them. There was quite a few F-Zero games made, with the N64 version being pretty awesome and the GX being the best. They did a few on the Game Gear, and not the Game Gear, the Game Boy Advance. And I wish that Nintendo would make a new F-Zero game. They keep saying, oh, we can't do it because we couldn't think of anything new to do it, which is pretty much bollocks, because they've asked a few other companies to actually make it from. Criterion Games they asked to make F-Zero. But it's a shame that the people who made F-Zero GX couldn't get back to do it, and as Sega and Namco had a lot to do with that game, that Sega can actually make a better F-Zero game than Nintendo. Crazy as that is. But I would love it if they made a new one, because I'm a massive fan of F-Zero. You got boosts in this game as well. Later on, you get a lot of jumps. There's a lot of crazy corners. You get like magnets on the side of the track that drag you in, and it is a tough game, but it is super fun. Oh, use the boost then. You do not want to go on the outside of the track. Come on. Let's boost myself around. You do need to use the left and right a lot, really, to make sure you stay on the track. So anyway, guys, that's F-Zero. Very good game indeed. I will say about the game list on here, it's a fantastic games list. There's not one crap game on here. They pretty much filled this NES Mini with some of the best games on the SNES. There is obviously other games on the SNES, you know, that are very good as well, but they could only fit a certain amount of this stuff that I would like to see on here, like Ninja Warriors again, for instance. I'd really like to see and there's other games, but for what they've given you, if you can get yourself hold of one of these, they're well worth picking up. I'm sure if people like Digital Foundry and a few other people who do some sort of emulation versus the original hardware views, but to be honest, you'd have to be, you know, I don't think they're going to come up with a huge amount of stuff. I think it's just going to be more little picky stuff here and there when they really analyse it, but it's very good. Like I said, this game does take a long time to start, so I won't show you too much of it, but this is Final Fantasy VI, which is my favourite Final Fantasy game. What have we got now? Let's have a look at Kirby. So I never really played this game before on the SNES. I did play it earlier. See, there's like all these different things you can, different types of games you can unlock. Well, sort of play, and it looks like there's some other stuff you can unlock, which is pretty cool. It wasn't until about a year or so ago that I played a Kirby's game. I played it on the NES, and it was very good. I really enjoyed it. So I know Kirby games are well loved. You basically got this little pink thing that can suck things in, or you can suck air in and float, which is quite cool as well. What you can also do as well, depending on the enemies, you can actually, if an enemy's got like a weapon or something, you can suck them in and pinch their power. Ooh, can also go down there, which I didn't want to go. Yeah, Kirby seems like quite a cool little character. Like him now, if I suck him in and then pull down, I can pinch his power. So I'm not sure what the other games are you get with this. Ooh. He does this ice attack, which is quite cool. That's quite an interesting ice attack. I think this game looks like it'll actually be a bit of fun. This ice sort of weapon is really good. Yeah, I'll have a bit of fun playing this because I've never actually played it. So that's Kirby, guys. And I say, I'm not sure what the other game types are on here, but I bet they're pretty good fun, so it seems cool. So we'll go back. We'll go to Kirby's Dream Course. This is quite a cunning game. I have seen it at Game Center CX. He actually played all the way through and completed it. And it's basically like a golf type game. Let's call myself T. It's making it nice and easy. Yeah, I think it's got 8 worlds if I remember rightly. And you can do crazy stuff, like you can bounce Kirby and use him to do spin shots. You can bounce him off and use him to do high hits. You get little sort of power-ups as you go along. Like the one you see there where you can like float down. So basically, it's golf. You can curve ball. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff. So basically, you can curve it around a bit. So if I do a small shot. Oh, I forgot you have actually got to press the button. Ooh. That's a real curve shot. Like I said, I have forgotten how to play this game. So every enemy you kill, you get like an extra shot. It gets very tight later on in the game. I never actually managed to finish it, but it does look really cool when you finish it. Yeah. Oh, that was like nearly. So the idea is basically take out all the enemies and get into the hole. Just like golf, really. Apart from your own enemies in golf. Oh my god, I suck. Gotta be quicker now with your shots. But you get the idea there, guys. And pretty much the courses get bigger and bigger with crazy. You get really good at using the shots. Got the old Mega Man. What I'll do on this, I'll show you the NES mini version, and then I'll flash over to my SNES. So I got my SNES hooked up through RGB, and I've got it hooked up to my FrameMeister and upscaled to 720p, which is pretty much the output of this. You can have a look at the difference. The only thing I will say is not all SNESs were made the same. I've got a dual chip SNES. I think it's a dual chip SNES. So the output is a little bit soft. Some of the SNES models have got a sharper output on them, which is a bit weird. They changed their video encoders. So it might not be quite as sharp, but we'll show you a bit of it anyway. Yeah, he did say when made thought that the shots in it sounded really loud, but from what I tested, they seemed the same, to be honest. So Mega Man 10 is quite good. I never really got into the Mega Man games. I do like Mega Man 2 on the NES, which is really cool. Cool. This is quite a nice Mega Man game, this is. Power shots you want really to kill them. That. Right, dead. I'll get to the little mid boss by here, and then we'll swap, and I'll show you actually on a proper SNES. If you hold on the power up for a little bit longer, you get a bit of a more powerful shot. That's it. I even checked the slowdown over there, and the slowdown's pretty much the same. So, what we'll do, we'll stop up here, and we'll flash over to the SNES version. Right then, guys, here's Mega Man running on my original SNES. This is actually running through my FrameMeister 720p and being upscaled, so it should be the same resolution. Like I said, not all SNESs are made equal. Some have got slightly better output than others. So I've got one of the ones where the output's a little bit soft, but I'll give you an idea anyway, as a comparison of what it'll actually look like. So we'll play through to the same spot. Don't want to go down there. As you can see, the sound levels now sound the same on the sound effects. Right, here goes, get to the big boss again. Ooh. Wonder why he hasn't broken through the ledge. That's weird. Maybe I didn't go far enough. Let's try going further across. I've never seen that before in this. You know, we break through at the same point. But anyway, that's the SNES version, so let's go back to the NES Mini now. Oh no, the NES, SNES Mini. Right, let's try a different game now then. Secret of Mana. I've just noticed as well that Digital Foundry have done Super NES Mini review. I haven't actually seen that yet, that's just popped up on my screen. So that'll be worth a look at, because they'll go a little bit in depth into it, as Digital Foundry do. I love this game. It's got brilliant music, really good action RPG, and it is 2-player. I think it might be 3-player as well. I have actually finished this in doubles as well, in co-op. Really wanna. I probably will end up playing through this game again, because it's really good. I don't think you can skip any of this. Basically, it's like all the other RPGs on the SNES. It's top down, but this one you get it's full action RPG. So you run around hitting things with swords. It's got brilliant dungeons, really good bosses. It's got a really cool story. It's just a very good game. I never really played the second one, even though that was Japan only. It did get a translation patch. But I never really played it. Perhaps I should actually play the second one. Let's see if we can actually get past this and show you the actual game. It'd be interesting to see the Digital Foundry review. Like I say, this you can, with the NES Mini, you can hack that and put SNES games on it, and this is pretty much the same hardware. So I think it is exactly the same hardware, actually, to be honest. And there's your characters. Fantastic music in this game. But we'll skip it because we'll be here forever. Right, so good old Star Fox. Probably most people have played Star Fox. This was a Super FX game, which was pretty much a chip inside there that allowed the SNES to do polygons. Runs probably at 15 frames a second at the most. But it is a really good game, and it is super fun to play. It plays a bit slow, but it plays well. And for this time was very impressive. I show you the training. Basically, you can speed up, slow down. You hold down and you can go through objects. Or you hold that, or if you double tap, you can spin through bullets. You have actually got a power charge button, which I can't do at the moment. You can go through rings. And basically fly through the levels, but I say these days this game does look a bit crappy, but it is a really good game. Star Fox is a classic. This game came out on a lot of things. They did the Wii U version, which is a really cool game, but the controls are absolutely hideous. They're very difficult, but Nintendo and everything has to be motion controls crap. They created a fantastic game and then give us some of the worst controls ever made, which is a shame. This came out on the N64 as well, which is a brilliant version of Star Fox, which also came out on the 3DS, which is a fantastic version. It's basically an upgraded version of that one. It came out, you had a few other games. It came out on the GameCube and that, but pretty much the N64, I think, is pretty much the best version of this game. But you get the idea. You fly around and shoot. I say Star Fox 2, this was previously unreleased. There was a beta ROM that got dumped to the internet quite a few years ago, but it was never actually complete. But this is a full, complete version, so this is the one that people were dying to get hold of. Funny, this has actually been ripped. It's been put on a cartridge and it's been sold on eBay already. But this is a similar sort of thing, flying around, but the game structure seems a little bit... seems a bit different. There's less options on here as well. The guy, I did read an interview with the guy who actually made it. He said he did actually complete it. But what they've done with this as well, they have actually given this a boost in speed compared to what it normally runs at. Because this was never released, there's nothing to reference it to, essentially. So, yeah, as far as I know, you got to like stop these missiles. So we'll find one now. Right, don't know what's going on here a minute. Let's just skip all that. You can pick different ships. That's pretty cool. Let's pick. Oh my god, that dog looks stupid. Let's have that ship just because it looks stupid. So a mate has actually played this on the emulator, and he said it runs a hell of a lot slower on the emulator. So they have speed boosted this quite a bit, which is cool. Right, so we'll... I think you got to like track these missiles down. I'll have to say, I'll have to give this game a bit more of a go and try and finish it. So your default view is the inside the ship view for some reason. You got your track your targets. You can get the outside view. Yeah, I could do a charge shot as well. Damn it. Like I said, I haven't really given this game a proper go yet. But I might say it was good, even though, like I said, it is a little bit different. Can't shoot the bloody thing. Hey. Out of range. We got the idea. I think you just basically got to stop the missiles hitting planets and stuff. But like I said, don't quote me on that because I haven't really played it much. So that's Star Fox 2. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is quite nice. So you got all the characters from and the bosses from Street Fighter 2. Say the Japanese people get Super Street Fighter 2, but they've got a few other games in their game list that just not very good. Or not games I would have not say they're not good, but not necessarily actually put in the list of games. So it's pretty much Street Fighter. I'm assuming pretty much everyone out there has played Street Fighter 2, or most people have anyway. That's pretty much Street Fighter 2, so we'll go across to the next one. Castlevania, Super Castlevania, fantastic game. Really love this game. I did initially think that some of the scrolling on this was a little bit on the old jerky side, but I've had a look at a proper SNES and it's pretty much the same. I say if you've never played a Castlevania game, they're side-scrolling. You sort of whip. So basically, you got your whip. You whip everything. You got sub-weapons which you can fire as well by pressing a button, and you basically go into castle and fight Dracula. I'm a massive Castlevania fan. I love the Castlevania games. Not all of them, but most of them I love. My favourite one being the PlayStation Symphony of the Night. My second favourite being the PC Engine Rondo Blood. But this probably is my third favourite. I do like the Castlevania games. The music on this game is fantastic as well. The soundtrack is brilliant. Castlevania's got some of the best gaming music ever, I think. There's a few games that stand out as some that have fantastic music. Turrican being one of them. Castlevania being another. It's just music you really love. Egregious is another one as well. As Shoot 'em Ups go, it's just really iconic music. Here's your little sub weapons you can throw. Forgot. Can only hit that. I say there's some really nice speed runs of this game on the internet. It can be run pretty quick in about 40 minutes, I think it is, or 45. There's lots of little tricks by using those swings to get up levels fast. So that's Castlevania. Fantastic. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So if you like the Ghouls and Ghosts games, you'll love this. Unfortunately, this game does have a hell of a lot of slowdown, but it is a very pretty game. And what I'll do on this one, I'll show you the SNES game playing as well. So we'll play through a bit of the level this one. I'll patch it back to my SNES running through the FrameMeister. You can have a look at some of the difference. In this one, you actually get a double jump, which you don't normally get in the other ones. There is a version of this actually on the PlayStation 2, on the I think it's the multi pack of these games, where basically they took all the slowdown out of it, which is really cool. Because unfortunately, the SNES wasn't actually known for its speed. It had a very nice graphics chip, but a very slow processor. Nintendo basically saved money on the processor, so it wasn't particularly good at doing shoot 'em ups. Hence why there's not actually that many shoot 'em ups on the machine. There are some really good ones on your mind, but they normally, as you can see, very bad slowdown. This would have been a nice game as well if they'd given you the option to take the slowdown out. I know a lot of people wouldn't be happy if it didn't have a slowdown because it wouldn't be exact, but it would be a nice option to have the option to actually take it out. So what we'll do now, we'll swap over to the SNES version of this game. Right guys, this is the SNES version of the game. Save run again through my SNES, we upscale through the FrameMeister. Like I was saying before, not all SNESes have the same output, but mine, like to say, I got one of those ones that's a little bit soft. So you can see the same slowdown and everything you'll get. So it would have been a nice option if they'd given you an option to get rid of the slowdown on this game. But I'm not complaining. Picked up literally the worst weapon in the game. Oh, extreme slowdown. Screwed now, ain't I? Oh great, I'm a baby. Yep. Well, this is the SNES version. As you see, it's got the same slowdown and everything. So it's a really cool game, this is, but the slowdown is horrendous on you. You get used to it though. It's got some very nice levels, especially the snow level. That's wicked, that is. Probably wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't picked up such a shitty weapon. Right guys, let's go back to the mid-end. Right, we're back. So let's have a bit of Mario Kart this time. I love this game. Very, very good indeed. I play this game loads, absolutely loads. I've got Toad. Toad was always my favourite on here. Or Koopa. So we do the Mushroom Cup. I did one of the cups earlier, which was the Mushroom Cup actually, so I don't know why I did it, but anyway. Mario Kart, fantastic series, pretty much been, ever since the SNES, been on pretty much every Nintendo console they've made. Brilliant racing game, really good fun in multiplayer. Can't fault it. Even the original SNES version these days is still great. Even though the Mode 7 is a bit weird these days, but it still plays fantastic. They just brought Mario Kart 8, like updated edition out on the Switch. I haven't played the Switch version, but I've played Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and that is a brilliant game. So if you do own a Wii U or a Switch and you're undecided whether to get Mario Kart, just pick it up because it's fantastic. There's lots of skips you can do on this as well. There's some amazing times that people have actually got on this game by skipping some of the courses and jumping over things. There's secret bits as well, and that they put in some of the levels have bits where you can skip parts of the course, depending on your power up or how fast you're going or what character you're using. But all in all, this is a pretty amazing game. So that's Mario Kart. Super Mario RPG. Like I said, game I never really played. I did quite a few versions of this. But I've never actually played them. I've heard they're good. They seem like a little bit like simplified in some ways, but I hear they are very good. Tuna. I bet probably Princess gets captured or something by Bowser, is it? The usual, yep. The usual story. I say this game's got a nice sort of like rendered sort of look, the same to sort of like Donkey Kong Country. Where's the Peach? Where's she gone? She left me. Worst Mario impression ever. Here we go. Yeah, this is like a Final Fantasy type thing. Turn-based. It was Squaresoft who did it, so it's not surprising. They can run. Looks like you can dodge enemies. Did you get to fight them? Yep. So you can dodge enemies. Item, attack, right. B buttons, attack. It's a bit weird how he attacks, they don't actually connect. So that's pretty much Mario RPG. Super Mario World, classic. Brilliant game. Can't fault it. Classic Mario game. If you love Mario, you probably played this, but well worth playing this game. Let's get Yoshi. I like how he eats the enemies on this game. I like how he can eat. Oh, you can't do it on this one. On Yoshi, some of the Yoshi, he eats stuff you pull down and he sort of like poops them out, which is quite funny. No, Yoshi! Right. It's a classic platform game. If you're a Mario fan, it's a must really, to be honest. Okay, the extra life. Lots of secrets in this as well. Oh, being one by there as well. Some of the levels got double exits as well. Worst jump ever. Some of the pipes you can go down to little secret areas. Give it a little boost to get up to the top. Yay! So that's Super Mario Super Mario World, or Super Mario 4 basically. Metroid. Love this game. Very, very good. The next Metroid game that I sort of really played is Metroid Prime on the GameCube, but where they actually changed it from 2D into 3D. That's an amazing game, that is. The controls are a little bit awkward these days, but if that was ever done up so you could actually have proper modern controls on it. I know it was remade on the Wii with motion controls, but a remake of that with proper controls would be amazing. Such a good game, that is Metroid Prime.
The last Metroid.
I like the gay voice.
Captivity.
I know that's not sort of politically correct, but there you go. The last Metroid is in captivity. Basically, a Sarah Aaron. It's a woman inside the suit, if you didn't know. In the later games, you do see her outside the suit, but in all the previous games, you don't. This is like a recap from the older Metroid games. But it's basically a run and gun shoot 'em up with lots of explorations. It's a Metroidvania, as they called it, which is basically a mix of Metroid and Castlevania. So a lot of the Castlevania games use this type of sort of setup with a big overall map, and you've got to come back to areas and you basically explore the map as you go along, which is pretty much dubbed the Metroidvania at these days. Let's see if we can skip the actual game. So if you do pick these ones up, I definitely suggest play through this game. It's very good. Goes for very silly money now on the UK. It came in like a big box on the UK, big cardboard box. Remember buying that when it first came out years ago, like. But I'm sure I played through this game a couple of times. That's if we ever get to the game, show you it. We can't skip. She's like a space bounty hunter. She's got a few enemies as well, like the space pirates and Ridley, which is like a giant sort of space, I know, like sort of dinosaur thing. I should get to the game now. Pretty much that's it. So here you go. You got. She can fire. She can jump, fire. You can sort of do like wall jumps later on. You get lots of different power-ups as well after a while in this game, which makes you better. You get like missile power-ups and stuff like that. And as you go along as well, you explore the map. I say people speed run this game all the time as well, and they've got this down to just doing it absolutely perfect. Here's all the scientists who are dead from going for the intro. You can you get power ups. You can hold your gun in a certain position as well. I do a terrible job at dodging this now. Ah, you. Nice sort of mode 7 effects. But you get the idea. This is the type of game it is. It opens up into a big sprawling world after a while, which is pretty fantastic. So Punch Out. Like I said, I never really got into the Punch Out games, but they're well loved. The Super one's quite nice. I did play it a little bit back in the day. I'm just going to do any name just for the hell of it, just to save time. So basically the idea is to dodge, weave punches and then attack at certain times. A lot of the enemies have sort of like tells about get my ass kicked. We get the idea. Like I said, I never really got into Punch Out, but so that's Punch Out. Legend of Zelda, say another adventure game, top-down action RPG. Brilliant, basically. Very, very good game. Fantastic music. It's a really good game. It's got a light world and a dark world, and you have to like warp in between the two different worlds at points later on in the game to get through dungeons. It's got some really cunning dungeons, this game. It's not hugely big. It can be beaten in a reasonable amount of time. I remember back in the day when I bought one of Cardiff, picked it up early in the morning, and I sat down and played it for about 13 hours and finished it, which is a big get in some ways. So that's my phone going. But yeah, action RPG. Very cool. So you get the idea, you just run around. I haven't got a sword at the moment. Really nice game. You've probably played this before, I expect. Oh. Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is a sequel to Mario World, really. I did a lot of Yoshi games. See, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Very expensive cartridge these days. Runs on the Super FX2 if I remember correctly. Very hard to get hold of. I remember buying it at the time when it came out. Basically, you got Baby Mario on the back, and you play Yoshi, and you got Baby Mario on the back. And when he jumps off your back or gets hit off, he cries a lot, which does become very annoying. But all in all, it is a pretty fantastic game. With some really lovely art style. They did that quite nice in the Yoshi games. Some of them look like Yoshi's Woolly World looks amazing. And it was completely different art style to what normally happens. You can poop them out, it's just quite funny. You hold down jump on that, he does a little bit more of a higher jump. Ah. That's it. See? Get enemies and poop about. And what you can do with them then is you can fire them at enemies and various things. You can use them for collecting stuff. So you've got quite a big world. I can't remember exactly how many worlds are in this game. Got some really nice jolly music. Pretty cool game. If I get hit, you hear the wah, wah. It's a bit odd they decided to do Baby Mario. But yeah, that's a fantastic game. Like I said, they made quite a lot of Yoshi games. Contra 3, probably the best Contra game. Run and gun shooter, brilliant. I love this game. Very, very good. Not overly fussed on the top-down levels. There is a couple of top-down levels, but brilliant nevertheless. There's a little trick you can do with this. You can pick up 2 different weapons, like that, so you can swap between them. But if you press the 2 at the same time, if you pick up a weapon and tap the button really fast, the 2 of them at the same time, you get really powerful. Your shots are way more powerful than they should be. As I get it. You get the idea. So yeah, that was bad. I haven't played this game for quite a while, as you can see. But I will be remedying that by playing it more now. Now I've got it on here. I did have the American cartridge this not long ago. It's got some really cool bosses, it's got some really nice music, brilliant levels. Like I said, the Contra games are wicked. Really good fun run and gun games. Not as good as Metal Slug mine, but you know, I'm just chucking that out there. But the Metal Slug came, you know, way later than this. Powerful firing arrows. You do have a smart bomb as well. You can lock yourself in position, and that's your smart bomb. So that's Contra, guys. Well, we're playing, and that's pretty much all the games on this system. So what I would say about this is I like the screen options, but I really wish they'd given you a scanline option for the rest of them. But oh well, it's a small thing to ask, I suppose. I do think the 4.3 is probably the best way to do it. The Pixel Perfect does look nice, but it's not quite the right ratio. The game list on this, there's not one bad game on here. Nintendo really went to town on giving you some amazing games on this. The machine itself is pretty nice. I've got to admit, it's pretty sweet. I did do an unboxing video of this. You may want to have a look at that. It is very sweet, actually. I've got to admit, it's very nicely done. The controllers as well work on the NES Mini. At least I think they do anyway. But the classic controller, which I'm using now, will work on the SNES Mini as well. And like I said, get yourself an extension lead. I say for £80, it's pretty good value for money, to be honest. If you tried to pick up all these games separately, just for the thing, you know, Contra would probably set you back about 40 quid. I'm pretty sure Yoshi's Island now goes for ridiculous prices, like over 100 quid. You know, a lot of these games in here would set that's expensive as well. You know, Mario World's cheap enough, but there's a lot of games on here that would cost, if you actually wanted that in a SNES, would be you pay way more than what you're getting them on here. Plus, you know, you would never get a proper official version of Star Fox 2. So all in all, I think that the SNES Mini is very good, actually. For the money, it's a little bit more expensive than the NES Mini, and if you're lucky enough to get an old one. But don't worry, apparently they are having more stock in coming up to Christmas, and they are going to be selling them all next year as well, including the NES Mini. It's going to come back for sale as well. So if you haven't got one now, keep an eye out around the shops and the supermarkets, because you'll probably get a chance to get one again over Christmas, or pre-order it somewhere, and hope you come in before Christmas. Yeah, really cool little thing. Quite impressed. Really, really nice emulation. They pretty much you play it on a TV, a very low lag TV, and it feels perfectly fine. Like I said, there probably is at least a frame of lag due to emulation, and then obviously whatever your screen is, you input lag on your screen then. But on a gaming monitor and a really good gaming TV, it seems perfectly fine. Picture quality is very lovely. I think it's a really nice thing. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's if you can get one, you know, get yourself one of these, especially if you love SNES, because they're pretty cool, and there's a hell of a lot of hours of play on the very good games that they've chucked on this thing. So yeah, I'm quite impressed, and I'm happy I've got one. So hope you like that, guys. Hope you liked having a look at all the games, and I'll catch you some point with another review. I won't be doing any reviews for a couple of weeks now, guys, because I'm off to Japan next week. But hopefully, as long as I've got enough room on my phone, I'll take a load of pictures and I'll take some videos of places. And I'm definitely going to be going around the retro shops in Akihabara and various other places. And I know it's got a dodgy name, but I'm gonna find myself a hard off because they do really cheap retro stuff. So I'll have lots of pictures of Japan, and I'll put. As long as I can get a lot of stuff done, I'll chuck a video up of showing you pictures from the places I went and some of the stuff I've picked up, and I'll do a little pickup video of what I've actually picked up from Japan, because I have got a little bit of money saved up, and I do plan to buy some stuff, hopefully a Super Graphics, PC Engine Super Graphics. I want to try and get all the games for it if I can, and some various other stuff, or some interesting stuff I pick up along the way. So I'll probably see you guys back with another video probably in the next 3 weeks to a month. So hope you enjoyed this, guys. So pick up this SNES Mini, fantastic machine, and happy gaming, and I'll see you guys soon. So bye now.